Hello everybody, welcome. Let's get to the Vaal action. We take a look at what the story is over there with regards to our activity out at the Vaal. A reminder, of course, about our Twitter account at Weighted to Win is the handle, and you also got a WhatsApp number as well with regards to what to look at in as far as that race meeting is concerned. Okay, let's talk about it. We start with the opener. You've got Darren Burrows on the line, and let's talk about the opener. It obviously is starts of bipots, Darren, where at this point in time, I see they got the sort of 16 to 10 simple magic for Crawford, Brett Crawford, and Kabelo Matsanyani. They're top of the boards. Damned If I Do on Monday was the second choice at 2 to 1. And then you got 6 to 1 and better, bar those two, barring the first timers. I guess it's a race in two, or how do you see it?
It does look that way, Clyde, but you got to look at the draws, and like Simply Magic drawn out at 15, not going to be easy, but she does bring probably the strongest form in the race, especially that 2 lengths off Kinky Boots. We've seen that form line stand up quite nicely. Damned If I Do's only had the 2 starts. Her comeback run in December, she was backed into favourite, and she was a bit one-paced. Maybe the step up in trip's going to suit her, and she jumps from a decent draw. So 1 and 7, and then Silk Garden to follow them home.
I guess the draw is a bit of a worry, and I see the form line to Welcome Breeze. Though only a few have run. Nothing's really come to shoot the lights out just yet. What do you make of it?
I don't like the look of the race, Clyde. I like this filly, Damned If I Do, last time out. Very disappointing. I don't think she moved particularly well going down to the start. She didn't move well in the race. But maybe the wet underfoot conditions could be favourable for her. So she's got a lot of scope for improvement. Simply Magic's going to need a lot of luck from the draw. If she gets luck in running, she could get it right. Silk Garden, she's another one that's drawn out wide. She's very limited, but she's got the pace to get into the race. Even the likes of number 2, Raining Rubies, the stable thinks she's got ability. The tongue tie gets refitted, and if she gets into the race, Clyde, number 14, Southern Style, her penultimate start of the course in distance was probably her best to date. So I went numerous runners in the first leg of the bipart. I hope I survive.
Yeah, you need a few. Damned If I Do finished in front of that also. Prayer Upon a Star, and at least that came out and won above the world form line. At least that's been franked as well. Okay, well, let's get the bipots up. You heard Daryl say there are quite a number of horses that have to go in, and he's putting all off 1, 2, 3, 7, and 14, then 1, 2, and 4, then 1, 2, 8, 11, then 4, 5, and 2. Then he's going 1, 2, and 6 in that bipot, and then in the 6th race, he is going to banker number 2, Namakwa Blossom. On to race number 2, and Black Egret tops the board here, 12 to 10 for the Ash Fortune stable. Ryan Munger does look like Black Egret will get it right. 22 to 10 though, Fish Eagle, the second choice in the market, and then 6 to 1 bar those two. Go to you, Darren. We've spoken about Black Egret quite a few times already now, so I guess the doors should now be open.
I can't believe he's still a maiden after 5 starts. It's very hard to believe. He's never far off the action. His form lines are strong enough to win this type of race. He's going to remain my first choice. I made the immediate danger Fish Eagle. He was quickening up smartly late with the blinkers fitted last time out. And then Magic Prince, I wasn't happy with the way he was moving last time out. So 2 to beat 1.
Okay, 2 to beat 1. Black Egret ahead of Fish Eagle.
Yeah, he's shown enough to be able to win a maiden. That's Black Egret Clyde, and go on, be competitive in handicap company. At the same time, he's been very, very disappointing. Fish Eagle improved in his later start. He was closing in over 1,000. He's got the draw. He's got 1,200 in his favour now. Comment from the syndicate, good space, winning chance. A live wire over here. Magic Prince, Clyde, he interests me because he's been rested and gelded. Go back to that penultimate start. We've seen Melech win again. Slinky Mapimpi, Time Together. Indirect winners were Celtic Groomers, and there was one other.
That came to win.
Joe Somer's horse, Brave Viking.
Correct.
So If he's improved since being gelded and he's moving well, Clyde, I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a winning comeback. So 1, 2, and 4 for me in no particular order.
Yeah, it's interesting. The only thing about him is the Fog Bank is dead, that form.
Yeah, that was a horrible effort, but
Yeah.
he did have his excuses.
All right, well, let's put the numbers up. Here we go. Time for place accumulator. Here's a look at it. Daryl's bankering the 1 Fish Eagle in PAs, ahead of 1, 2, 8, 11. Of course, what's in Fish Eagles' favour is well drawn. 4 and 5 in the third leg, then 1, 2, 6, then banker 2, then 3, 8, and 9. And the last leg, 2, 9, and 15. Race 3, we're doing this Monday, just a reminder, and this is a handicap at the 74 level. It's called the South African Classic Day on the 4th of March. Don't forget about that, all of you. And this particular handicap is run over 1,200 metres on the classic track. Scratch number 1 and scratch number 13, so leaves you with 11 runners. From a market perspective, it's adjusted itself to have the horse 5-2 favourite. What you're waiting for, number 2 on the card. Number 3, there she goes. Second choice at 9-2 and 11-2 about the 8, Letitia's Angel. Darren Burrows, I'm sure you would have worked out a pick 6 for us. So what's the plan in the first leg?
Well, Clyde, originally I had numbers 1, 2, and 11. Now that Lashosi ship's been scratched this morning, I'm only stuck with numbers 2 and 11 in quite a competitive race. So I'm hoping that's enough. My first choice will have to be What You're Waiting For, a filly with a lot of ability. Her 2 comeback runs in December were a bit below par, but she put that behind her in her last start when running a good second to Wind Water. So on that sort of progression, I think she'll go very close in this company. And her main danger, Feather the Nest, from a 1 draw. I liked the way she moved up to them last time out. She looked like she was going to go and win at the 300, and then she just found 1 too good on the inside of her. So 2 and 11, I've included the scratching. Let's see what happens. Let's hope we can get through.
Okay, well, Feather the Nest is any price, Darren. So you've got a bit of a shrewdie, if you want to call it that, at this point in time. Number 11's priced up at 10-1. At this point in time. So, Daryl Marie, those are the 2 from Darren. Have you got something else that you want to add in?
Yeah, I made it 2-11-8, Clyde.
Okay.
Interestingly enough. What you're waiting for, she improved last time out with the tongue tie. Disappointing to see that the comment still reads that she made respiratory noises in that race.
That's a problem.
Look at her record in the soft, 1 from 1.
Okay.
So she must be a player, yeah, Clyde. Feather the Nest, Darren's touched on her. She's got that draw. The blinkers go back on. Her rating's right down from a 77 to a 58. A lot in her favour. Back against Fillies and Mares Company this time around. And then number 8, Letitia's Angel. You can never discount her chances. She's very competitive of her current rating. She's track and trip suited. And she's got that draw in her favour. So 2-11-8, but Clyde, this is a Fillies and Mares handicap, so don't be surprised to see a result.
Yeah, brave. Well, what you're waiting for is top of the boards 5-2, as we previously mentioned. Fortune favours the brave, so they say. So let's have a look at Darren's pick 6, see what he's doing. He's going 1, 2, and 11. So those are the 3 he's put in the pick 6 here. Then he's going second leg 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. By 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10. Then he's going to be bankering number 2 on the card in his pick 6, Namakwa Blossom. Then 3, 8, and 9, and Field at the back. And he would like to take a percentage of that perm. We move on now. It's jackpot time. Let's have a look at race number 4 on the card and see what the plan is over here. I'll talk to Darren Burrows quickly to get an idea. And that's the 4th race. Is a handicap divided, 1 at it. That's an 85 over 2,000 metres. When we were betting on Monday afternoon or Monday morning when we do the show, I had this horse top of the boards, Rarotonga Rose, at 3-1. That's number 3 on the card. 4 Silver Hills back in the play, 4-1. And the 5 Quiet Rebellion is trading at 5-1. Now, if I recall, your pick 6 had quite a lot of horses here, Darren.
Yes, Clyde. Silver Hills and Quiet Rebellion, there's only half a length separating them on their last start. And I do believe they are the leading lights in this race. They pulled well clear of the 3rd place runner that day. They had a race to themselves. And I think Quiet Rebellion narrowly over Silver Hills. And then you got to include Rarotonga Rose. The drop in trip's not going to be a concern. An interesting runner could be Ipso Facto up in trip. The furthest she went was a mile in a maiden, and she won in really good style. She steps up to 2,000 meters. One other horse to consider, Lady Calavera. She had a year off the racetrack with pretty no form, and she returned with 2 cracking wins quite comfortably. So she's really turned the corner.
Now, it's actually unbelievable as Lady Calavera. Thought she was never coming back, and she came back to win 2 on the trot. And, well, now we're in a divided handicap. There are a lot of horses in here. I like White Rebellion. I like the way it won last time. What's your first choice?
I don't know if Silver Hills is going to line up, Clyde, because she was meant to run on the meeting of the weekend that was postponed to Wednesday night.
Yeah.
At this stage on Monday morning, 11 o'clock, she's in.
Still carded, yeah.
She's still carded to contest the race on Tuesday. So let's see if she stands her ground on Tuesday, Clyde. I'll make her the leading light of year. Because I think she is going to be a different filly now that she's been stepped up to 2,000 meters. She was coming again at Quiet Rebellion last time out.
Yeah.
And with that 0.5 kilogram in her favour, I think she'll get the better of Quiet Rebellion this time round. If she doesn't, Clyde, I'll make Quiet Rebellion the best bets on the card.
Okay.
I think she got away with murder, only getting £2 for her latest victory. So I'm hoping Silver Hills comes out and runs on Wednesday night so that I can have a dip on Quiet Rebellion.
Okay, so we'll have to wait for that. There you got it all wrapped up. Quiet Rebellion, very hard to beat if Silver Hills doesn't run. It'll be interesting which tactic to see which Sean Terry goes. Having said that, the market favours Lucky Hudalaka's horse, Rarotonga Rose. In our play, there's a jackpot that we've worked out. Here it is. It's Darren's jackpot. He's got 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 by 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 by banker 2 and 3, 8, 9 at the back. Welcome back. Race 5. That's where we are now. Divided handicap. This is over 2,000 meters at the Vaal. We're doing this on Monday. And those of you that do use Twitter, please go to our @Weighted to Win handle and follow us. And you can engage with us from there, or otherwise we're on the WhatsApp number that's on your screen as well, whichever's easier for you, of course. Right, let's talk about this race. Never easy when you look at fillies and mares, and Red Maple tops the boards as number 1 on the card, is the favourite, priced up 3 to 1. Second choice, number 3, Tinder Dry at 11 to 2. And number 8, Stunning Kitten is the third choice at 6 to 1. But by no means an easy race, Darren.
Not at all, Clyde. This filly, Red Maple, I know Darryl labelled her last time out and she won in good style. She didn't beat a strong field, but the manner in which she pulled away at the finish suggests that she's not done with yet. I think she could go very close in this sort of company. Tinder Dry's alive. A horse like Call the Wind. Her rating's starting to tumble now, and it wouldn't surprise me to see her go close to winning. And of the rest, I would include Field of Vision. On her best Cape Town form, would bring her into the race with a big chance. She's only had the 1 comeback run, so she might just need 1 more run to tighten up.
Yeah, I think you're right about the manner in which Red Maple won her last start. I mean, that was impressive. She pulled away from her field, may not have been in the strongest field. What's interesting now is how you compare that field to this field.
Yes, Clyde. Now, here's a filly, by Silvano, is improving with racing. She gets that additional 200 meters. And judging by her latest victory, she's going to love it because she was extending at the finish. Another filly that could be way ahead of the handicapper. She's 1 from 1 with the blinkers. Last time I put a line through that effort, Clyde, I don't know if you recall, Marco van Rensburg came down in that race.
Yes.
She had to take evasive action and she was never in the hunt thereafter. She's got track and trip form. She's won in the soft conditions before. She's better than her latest efforts, but she's exposed. And then Arden Park, number 6, have a look at her. Her rating has come down to a 67. She's going to strip a lot fitter. Keegan sticks with her. Is he riding? I'm sure he is, Clyde. And
as far as we're aware, yeah, at this stage.
And she now steps up to 2,000 meters, a distance she's unexposed over. If she's better over this distance, she's ahead of the handicapper. So I'm going to say in order 1, 2, and 6, but the race doesn't stop there.
Doesn't stop. So you're not labelling Red Maple, despite
not
her
this
winning
time
as
around,
impressively last time. Okay, well, that was the important thing, is to compare like for like on a field for field basis. Obviously much stronger now, and so there's some reservation. And a horse like last year is currently 14-1. So have a look at what the information is from our perspective. Daryl's worked out his pot. He's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 by 2 and 4 by 3, 8, and 9, and the last leg 2, 5, 7, 9, and 15. Race 6, this is when Macro Blossom comes up. 19-20 on Monday when we did this 10 o'clock Monday morning. Lucky Hoodalakis, Raymond Danielson team up. 4-1 about number 1 Dark Travel, and 11-2 about 3 Go Flitchity, and number 5 Rose 11 also 11-2. 7s and better about the others. Okay, well, odds on may well drift. I don't know, Darren, what you think on the Monday, but I do know this is your banker and your play of the day.
Yes, Clyde. And you get professional punters that have 1 strike a month. This is the type of horse I would stick them into, Namakwa Blossom, because I think she's an absolute racing certainty on her form. Obviously, the soft track has to be a concern, as a lot of these runners have never run in sticky conditions. But on her form, last time out, she was given a very patient ride at the back of the field, and Banner Bridge got away from her. She was closing the gap hand over fist. In this type of company, for me, an absolute banker.
Okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. She does look quite hard to beat, Daryl.
Yes, Claude, here's a filly whose form you can't fault. She's in cracking form. Last time out, she found herself with too much to do. The front 2 got away. She couldn't quite display the turn of foot that she possesses. And I don't see a breakneck pace in this race. So she can turn it on. Sticky underfoot conditions is a slight concern, but she's certainly on the upgrade and the filly to beat. If I was going to back up with anything, it would have to be number 4, Pacific Express. Now, she was in desperate need of a comeback start. Below par in her second run after a rest. She's better when she goes up handy on the pace. That wasn't the case last time out. And Clyde, like I've touched on, I think that stable's going to start turning in a big way. So I'll be disappointed if Namakwa Blossom doesn't get it right. If she does fluff her lines and things don't go away like it did last time out, I think Pacific Express could be the one.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see how it all figures out. You've heard from the guys, and of course, if Rarotonga Rose, as you never know, although we've spoken about it, those that watched the show earlier, Rarotonga Rose got into a bit of a fight with Namakwa Blossom. What was interesting about that is that whilst Namakwa Blossom was making up all of the ground, she couldn't get the better of Rarotonga Rose for a long time. So that's what, if there was a reservation, it's the only reservation I would have. But I do believe she does drop in terms of competition-wise in this field. I think the field is probably weaker than the previous. But let's get into what the plan is then from the guys with regards to this. Darren does not want to know Namakwa Blossom. Hopefully not too soft, hard to beat. We're on to race 7. Celestial City tops the boards, priced up at 22-10 for the Sean Terry and Cabela Matsanyani combination. Toughest number 3, second choice at 33-10, and Climate Control, number 1 on the card, is priced up at 4-1. Let's go to Darren now. Talk about this race. It's over the 16. We're on the classic track. All right, Darren, take us through the field, and how many do we actually need in a race like this?
Well, Clyde, originally I had 2, but then I added a third horse. So I went Toffus, Celestial City, and Lord Varus up in trip. Toffus, now, he won in really good fashion last time out. He's drawn 10, but Keegan knows him well, and he likes to lead this horse. So he'll probably overcome the draw, hopefully slow the pace down, and then catch me if you can the final 400 meters. I'm hoping those are the tactics he could follow up. I thought he was good value at 9-2. Celestial City, the drop in trip is what catches my eye. Last time out over 2,000 meters, moved up with a double handful at the 300, didn't stay. Penultimate start over 1,800 also didn't see it out. The mile could be ideal. So those 2 are the leading lights, and Lord Varus catches my eye up to a mile for the first time.
Well, based on that, we're not going to write Celestial City off. If it was a case of him not staying and the mile is better suited, then he's a big runner.
Yeah, talk about big. He looked very big in the Canter Pass, Clyde. He actually looks very heavy now, so that has to be a concern. Also, favour the fact that he's coming back in trip, but he's well drawn, and you don't want to give away a good position from a good draw, Clyde.
Yeah.
But I do believe he needs a more patient ride, because when he gets to the front, he seems to turn it up very quickly. So more patiently ridden. I can see him winning, but I've got my concerns over him. But he's got a lot in his favour, Clyde. Toffers, I'm not too worried about that draw, because he's got that good early pace to overcome it. If he doesn't lead, he can certainly get into a good position. He's got his confidence up now. He's in cracking form. Could certainly follow up. And Lord Varus, I also like the look of him. Last time I had Clyde, he had the worst of the draws up that Turffontein straight. He did disappoint in his penultimate start. But go back to that run behind Let's Do It. He had a terrible draw on that occasion. Let's Do It at the best of the draws in Stallgate number 1. And he's 3.5 kilograms better off for a length and a quarter beating. So if he sees out the extra, he's the joker in the pack. So like Darren, I'm only willing to touch on the three of them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Keegan DeMello would have, I would imagine, he made a choice, right?
I'm not too sure about that. It would be interesting to find out.
I think he would have. I think he would have made the choice. But okay, Toffers from Keegan DeMello's side. Kabela Matsunyani gets a ride in Celestial City. There are a few in here. And I wonder if Climate Control's not somebody that, or some horse that you may want to reconsider as well. But the guys have made up their minds. This is what they're doing in this race. And it's a handicap at the 80 level. Daryl's looking for place value in Lord Varus. And that, what price is that? I just want to have a quick look in terms of places about Lord Varus at the moment. You can get around 4 to 1 a place. 8th race, let's get on to it, and it's over the mile, 11 to 2 the field. So open this race, there are a number of horses that can win, I guess. They bet 11 to 2 about the 1, 11 to 2 about the 15, who is Big City Girl, 6 to 1 about number 4, Oyster King. So it's not an easy race. Let's talk to Darren. Go to you, Darren. Summarise for us. I can imagine as open as they come, but if you had to make a selection, what would it be?
Clyde, I put the field in the pick 6 here, so all 16 runners. But my first choice has to be Mabaneng at a big price. This filly's absolutely tumbled in the ratings. Her last 3 starts have all been over sprinting trips, and now she's stepped up to the more suitable trip. So off her current rating, decent draw of 3, I expect big improvement from Mabaneng.
Yeah, well, there you go. She was once an 83 Mabaneng, so she's now in the 60s or something like that. And Mabaneng, number 9, is trading at 12 to 1 a win at this point in time and 2 to 1 a place. Daryl, you would have found a Shruti perhaps?
She is my shooter in the pack.
Oh, also, okay.
We fancied her last time and she disappointed us.
Yeah.
I think she is now looking for the extended trip. Clyde, this filly has to be better than what she's currently rated. If not, I think she could head off to the paddock soon because she can't go any lower than this.
Correct.
So I'm going to tip her second behind, Just Eminent. Now, have a look who he's contested races with, Clyde. Bonete, Argo Star, Tsar Bomber. They're well above average sorts. This horse, if he gets to the front and he gets his own fractions and an easy lead, I could certainly see him fending them off in this company. So he's going to be my top pick. Ahead of Mabaneng. Then Big City Girl, Clyde, she's got a lot in her favour. No weight to shoulder. She's tracking trip suited. She's got a neat draw. She'll just be given a chance off the pace she'll be running on. But she's a limited sort. So let's go 2, 9 and 15 in that order.
Well, Just Eminent is 7 to 1 at the moment on the Monday. So that's a bit of...
Clyde, it's not a race I'm going to run out and get involved in. So...
All right, one of those. Okay, well, let's go. We're wrapping up. Thanks for watching Waiting to Win, everybody. We appreciate it. And a reminder about Wednesday night, there's more Turffontein action. That show was, of course, recorded on Friday, the Wednesday night show. Let's have a look at what we're doing in the last. Here we go. And Mabaneng from Darren Burrows' side. Daryl Marie, not far off. He likes that, as well as Just Eminent.